Yes, come on, come on.
All right, there's a first time for everything. I'm sure you recognize this helmet. But this time we're in Ashland, gonna go biking. Got the mountains behind me. They are looking steep. It's cold and shady, so I'm definitely bundled up, but I can hear the creek rushing by behind me. There's been a lot of rain lately. Hoping the trail's not too wet and muddy. All right, let's go check out some new trails in Ashland. So interestingly, I've definitely had some mechanicals. Funny how that happens when you go riding out of town. But yeah, dropper seat post ran into some issues and felt it slipping one day. Then the next day, it was definitely no good. Had to ride with it in the wrong position. So got the cable replaced this morning at my handy dandy shop here in Ashland. And I'm off and running. There are so many trails in the southern Oregon region between Ashland and Medford and Jacksonville. Thanks to these towns' websites and all of our mapping tools, we were able to get a good feel for our options. Since there's snow in the higher country, we are limited to staying at lower elevations, which in this area is below 3,000 feet. This is a cute town with lots of restaurants and cafes, home to Southern Oregon University, Shakespeare Festival, there's hot springs, and a wonderful park called Lithia Park, which is where our ride started. For this ride, we went to Upper Lithia Park. Using our maps and the one at the trailhead, we could see a few different possible loops. The trail map did a pretty good job of delineating those that were for hiking versus biking versus multi-use. What we didn't glean from the maps but experienced on the trail is the fact that because we started deep in a ravine and rode up the mountain, then we were going to get to ride a big downhill. This is in fact developed for downhill riding. We parked at the Glenview Trailhead. It has a section just for bikers and another section just for hikers. You can tell they're trying to manage conflict between users. First, we rode south on the Waterline Trail, which is for bikes only. We took that deep up into the ravine where it got shady, dark, and very cool. Ashland Creek was raging from all the recent rain. This was really steep. We had to hike a bike several times. After a few switchbacks, we hit the Jub Jub Trail briefly, and then headed south and uphill again on Alice in Wonderland. Eventually this mellowed out on a ridge and we were afforded some amazing views of the valley outside Ashland. So pretty. Up here on the ridge it was clear. We got a lot of the hard work over with. What a grind. From looking at the maps I knew there were trailheads up on the ridge. And it wasn't long before we came to the White Rabbit Upper Trailhead. Through interacting with some locals, we learned a little more about the trails in the area, and the main downhill trail being Jabberwocky. As you can see from the names, Alice in Wonderland, Jabberwocky, Jub Jub, the area was based on children's books and poems. Jabberwocky is a poem by Lewis Carroll that goes, "Beware the Jabberwocky, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jub Jub bird, and shun the fruitless Bandersnatch." It makes sense that people in Ashland are this creative. It gives me a chuckle. Once you're up this high at the White Rabbit Trail, you're in Siskiyou Mountain Park. Again, there are so many trails, like the Toothpick Trail and the Four Corners Trail. There's an Ashland Research Natural Area and the Ordson Todd Woods. So much to explore. To get to the top of Jabberwocky, we took the Caterpillar Trail up a little higher. You could actually do some more upper loops called Lizard and Lewis and keep going, but it was getting late and pretty cold, so it was time to enjoy the downhill. Jabberwocky goes down the side of Jemison Gulch from 3,400 feet down to Ashland Creek, where the Glenview Trailhead is, at an elevation of 2,200 feet. Woo-hoo! All in all, the ride was 6 miles and 1,200 feet of climbing. It took a while to figure out all the different trails and turns and everything, but in the end it was worth it because Jabberwocky, as you can see, is really fun downhill. I'm conservative, so brakes on for me the whole time, but I was hooting and hollering and it was a good adrenaline rush. This was our third ride in the area and definitely a great last ride. I look forward to going back in the summer. Woohoo! I did it! That was Jabberwocky. We biked up, sometimes hiked, and then found out, oh, it's all about Jabberwocky, the downhill ride. Anyway, it was crazy as you saw. Woohoo! Survived. I survived Jabberwocky in Ashland. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, so we climbed up, and then rode down. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.